Okay, today let's talk about Inanitus obliquus. Inanitus obliquus. Sounds like some sort of Roman emperor. In fact, what it is, it's a mushroom. They're called chaga mushrooms. Chaga mushrooms have gotten a pretty good amount of publicity because of their potential and or alleged health benefits. In fact, sometimes most types of mushrooms are considered healthy. There's various attributes assigned to different mushrooms. Reishi, maitake, these things, they help with the immune system. You have the lion's mane, which supposedly helps with brain function by increasing what they call nerve growth factor. Chaga mushrooms does a little bit of everything, and for that reason, some people call it the king of mushrooms. Anyway, it's what they do think is that chaga mushrooms, based on the existing research, it seems to be good for, as is other mushrooms, of boosting your immune response, helping to fight cancer, and lowering the cholesterol. They've been used for centuries, and chaga mushrooms have been used for centuries in Siberia and other parts of Asia as an immune booster. Now, they're not very good looking. I mean, chaga kind of looks like burnt charcoal, and it tastes very bitter. So usually chaga is taken either in a pill or supplement form or as a tea. The chaga tea is very high in antioxidants, and this rich content of antioxidants explains much of the health benefits. The chaga mushroom is, as is other mushrooms, it's a fungus. Mushrooms are fungi, I should say. The chaga grows mainly on the bark of birch trees in colder climates such as northern Europe, Siberia, Russia, Korea, northern Canada, and Alaska. It has several other names. Chaga is known as black mass, clinker polyphore. These are kind of colorful names. Birch canker, polyphore, cinder cork, and my favorite, the sterile trunk rot of birch. I mean, seriously, if I came to you and I said, "Here, take this supplement," you said to me, "What is it?" and I used the other name. I said, "Well, it's sterile trunk rot of birch." I don't think a lot of people would want to take it, but they'd be making a mistake because chaga is actually pretty good for you. The conch refers to the woody growth, which, as I said, the chaga, it looks like a clump of burnt charcoal. The inside reveals a soft core with an orange color. As I said, it's been a traditional medicine for many years, usually it's taken as a tea, but it's also very available as in capsules also. As far as the potential health benefits, it helps chaga seems to help lower inflammation, and it increases immune response. Animal and test tube studies. Now, there's not a lot of human research to confirm this, but animal and test tube studies suggest that chaga can positively influence your immunity by reducing long-term inflammation and helping to fight pathogenic organisms like bacteria and viruses. Chaga also helps increase immune response by promoting the formation of cytokines. Cytokines are specialized proteins that help regulate the immune system. Chaga stimulates white blood cells or leukocytes, which are essential to fighting off bacteria and viruses. Some studies show that the chaga mushroom can help fight infections that range from minor colds to serious illnesses. The chaga actually helps promote some of the more useful cytokines, but also actually lowers the release of harmful cytokines, which are associated with increased inflammation and disease. As a matter of fact, one of the complications of the SARS-CoV-2 virus or COVID is that your body oversecretes some of these inflammatory cytokines, and this is what causes a lot of damage to the lungs, and it often leads to people being put on respirators. So cytokines are good at certain times to help prevent the spread of disease. Other times when they're oversecreted, they could be very harmful. Chaga helps control the release of cytokines. As far as fighting cancer, several animal and test tube studies show that chaga can prevent and slow cancer growth. Again, you got to be careful. These are animal and test tube or in vitro studies. What happens in an animal doesn't always translate into human physiology. And with test tube studies, it's even more not directly applicable to human physiology because it involves isolated cells rather than a whole body. But this doesn't mean that chaga doesn't work. It just means there's not a lot of human evidence. However, in studies with mice with cancer, when they gave the mice chaga supplements, it reduced the tumor size in the mice by 60%. Since a lot of mice do react to cancer similar to humans in some ways and not in other ways. In a test tube or in vitro study, the chaga extract prevented the growth of cancer in human liver cells. Similar results were observed in cancer cells of the isolated cells, cancer cells of the lung, breast, prostate, and colon. What that means in simple terms, this was a test tube study. It involved exposing these isolated cancer cells to chaga extract. Now, will that happen in the human body? That remains unknown. We know that outside the body, when these cancer cells are exposed to chaga, it basically kills them off. A lot of the anti-cancer effect of chaga, it's due to its high content of antioxidants, which protects cells from damage by free radicals. Free radicals are byproducts of oxygen metabolism. Free radicals themselves have good and bad points. The temporary increased production of free radicals after you work out stimulates anabolic signaling in muscle and also stimulates the production of new mitochondria, which increases muscular endurance. So a short burst of free radicals following working out is very good for health, but at other times free radicals are very damaging. They damage cell membranes and they are associated with cancer and premature aging. Chaga contains a particular antioxidant called triterpene. Triterpene has been shown in, again, isolated cell studies that helps to directly kill cancer cells, cancer cells. As far as helping to prevent diabetes, a couple of animal studies link chaga to lower blood sugar levels. The problem with diabetes and insulin resistance is higher blood glucose levels, which could harm the body, cause diabetics age 5 times faster than normal. The high blood glucose levels stimulate a condition called which results in the production of advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. AGEs are basically when sugar or glucose gets entwined with proteins and messes up the structure of the protein structures and it weakens them. This happens in connective tissue. It can happen in the proteins that make up your skin, and that causes an extreme aging effect. A lot of the stiffness you see in older people they believe could be caused by too much advanced glycation end products in the body. A recent study in obese diabetic mice found that chaga extract reduced blood glucose levels and insulin resistance compared to diabetic mice who did not receive chaga extract. In another study of diabetic mice, chaga supplements led to a 31% decrease in blood glucose over 3-week time. So there's other studies that also show that. But again, these are all animal studies. There's no human research to show that chaga could help either prevent or assist in the treatment of type 2 diabetes. But based on the good amount of evidence from animal studies, there's a high likelihood that chaga extract would be beneficial for people with insulin resistance or diabetes. As far as cardiovascular protection, chaga can lower cholesterol levels. An 8-week study, again with rats who had high cholesterol levels, chaga extract reduced the so-called bad cholesterol, known as low-density lipoprotein. It reduced total cholesterol and triglycerides while increasing antioxidant levels. Other studies confirm that chaga can reduce the bad low-density lipoprotein while increasing the good high-density lipoprotein cholesterol, which is associated with a decreased effect on cardiovascular disease, increased prevention, I should say. Now, as far as the LDL, I'll just add some recent studies show that low-density lipoprotein is the main cholesterol carrier in the blood. Low-density lipoprotein, or LDL, is produced in the liver. It gets in. It's attached to a protein. It's the main carrier of cholesterol in the blood. Previously, it was thought that LDL is called the bad cholesterol because when it's oxidized, it's associated with the development of atherosclerosis, which is a primary risk factor for cardiovascular disease. But there's a couple of caveats to that. LDL, first of all, is only dangerous when it's oxidized. In other words, when it's oxidized, it becomes more sticky and it kind of adheres to the lining of the arteries. And in that form, it can cause or promote atherosclerosis. Another thing to consider about LDL is the size of the LDL particles. Small, dense LDL is more prone to oxidation than large, what they call buoyant LDL. Now, low-fat diets, strangely enough, produce the small, dense LDL, which is more prone to oxidation, whereas higher-fat diets produce the buoyant or bigger or larger LDL, which is not as prone to oxidation. I've seen a couple of articles by cardiovascular researchers where they claim that you don't need the lower the LDL, the less chance of cardiovascular disease. Some of these people claim that if you had no LDL at all, no production, that it would literally eliminate cardiovascular disease. I'm a little skeptical about that, but what is known now is that cells are capable of producing their own LDL. So in other words, their own cholesterol. Cholesterol is needed for the production of steroid hormones, various other things, including testosterone. They used to think that LDL was important because it carried cholesterol to tissues such as the Leydig cells in the testes, where the cholesterol was converted into testosterone. But now we know that the testicular cells themselves can produce cholesterol, making LDL not necessary. There are drugs that can lower LDL, PK, CK, something like that, inhibitors. They will lower LDL to very low levels. So, but Chaga itself is a natural way to lower LDL. What about safety? Chaga is usually safe and well tolerated, but it can interact with certain medications. For example, Chaga contains a certain protein that inhibits blood clotting. If you're already on blood thinning medications such as Eliquis, which is often given to treat a condition called atrial fibrillation, taking a lot of Chaga could interact with the Eliquis and cause excessive blood thinning, which could lead to possible hemorrhaging, even a type of stroke called a cerebral hemorrhage. Although some research shows that Chaga may reduce inflammation, it can cause the immune system to become a little more overactive. This is something to consider if you have an existing autoimmune disease. Examples of autoimmune diseases include rheumatoid arthritis and lupus erythematosus, and there's several others. Lupus is especially common in women. If you have any type of a pre-existing autoimmune disease, you have to be careful because Chaga can actually make your immune system a little bit too active. And with autoimmune diseases, the immune system is already overactive. Pregnant women should not use Chaga. It could be teratogenic, it could harm the fetus. And I think that's about all I'm going to say about Chaga. But the reason I did this video is I was just looking for something on the internet the other day, and they had dozens of ads for Chaga mushroom extracts. And I said to myself, if so many companies are selling Chaga, there must be a reason for it. So I did a little research, and this is what I came up with. Chaga is a good, healthy mushroom to take if you're interested in increasing your immune response and possibly helping to control blood lipids like cholesterol, triglycerides, and LDL. As far as bodybuilding applications and fitness applications, athletic applications, I couldn't find any information. However, when an athlete or a bodybuilder trains very hard, especially when they're training on a daily basis, when they're training daily every day, there's a tendency to have a little bit of a depression of the immune system, which opens them up to diseases. When your immune system is not functionally optimally, you're open to getting more infections and diseases such as colds and flu and that type, and even the SARS-CoV-2 virus or COVID. So, if you're training really hard, taking something like Chaga, it has something in it called beta-D glucans, which is very potent at increasing the immune response. If you're training real hard, you're not getting enough sleep, you're not eating properly, it would be a good idea to take a supplement like Chaga or Chaga tea to give your immune system a boost to help protect you from getting diseases. So I think that is the main bodybuilding or fitness application. If you want more information on nutrition, exercise science, anti-aging research, ergogenic aids, hormone therapy, supplement science, which supplements work, which ones don't, I don't hedge on that. I tell you the truth. And believe me, trust me when I say this, I'm one of the last sources of truth about supplements that you'll find on the entire internet. Because everybody, as the cliche says, everybody has a dog in the fight. In other words, a lot of people are making videos and they're actually either selling supplements themselves or they're aligned with supplement companies where they get kickbacks from supplement companies to push that company's supplements. You'll know this by under the video. They'll say stuff like, use this code to get 20% off on so-and-so supplements. Well, that means these people the people who made the video are shills for supplement companies. You can't totally trust them because, it's not that the supplements are bad. And I certainly, believe me, I have nothing against anyone making money, especially in these times when it's so difficult to make money. It's just that, a lot of times they're going to hedge on the truth. They're not going to tell you the whole story because, again, I hate to use another cliche, they have an axe to grind. They have ulterior motives. In other words, they're getting paid or making money off supplements. So you're not going to get the complete story. You will in my Applied Metabolics. You'll get the complete story. I also cover women's health and fitness. I cover more topics in Applied Metabolics than any other digital publication. It's 30 to 45 pages every month. There's no advertisements. Again, I'm not going to push any products on you. If I have to mention any particular supplements, I'll use generic terms. I'll say whey protein, but I won't use a company name because I'm not a shill for any supplement company. I'm only trying to give basic, useful, practical information. The key word being practical. Everything in Applied Metabolics is useful. There's a lot of topics I come across, quite frankly, in the scientific literature that I'd love to write about because I find them fascinating and interesting. However, there's no real use for them in everyday life. In other words, these things might have some use in the future, but right now there's no practical use. It's interesting stuff, but it can't be real. There's nothing you could really use today. And I'd rather put stuff in material I write about in Applied Metabolics that is practical and is useful. And as I say, I don't know of any resource similar to Applied Metabolics on the entire internet. Not only that, but no other digital publication comes with my background and experience. I wrote for bodybuilding magazines for over 35 years, thousands of articles published. I also know how to write. Everything is very easy to understand in Applied Metabolics. Any technical terms are explained immediately, and it's much more readable. I also include little anecdotes about my days of training at the original Gold's Gym with Arnold Schwarzenegger and other people. So it's a very interesting publication, if I say so myself. And no matter what your level of education, I guarantee you will learn something from reading Applied Metabolics. I absolutely guarantee it, because a lot of the material I cover in Applied Metabolics is what they call off-the-road material. It's not the same stuff that you'll find in various blogs and videos. It's different stuff. I guess you could call it an advanced nutrition type of thing. It's extremely useful for trainers as a continuing education source, or anyone else who wants in-depth, I'm talking very in-depth information on nutrition and exercise and general health and disease prevention. So subscribe today, www.appliedmetabolics.com. When you subscribe, send me an email and I'll send you an invitation to join my private Applied Metabolic Facebook page, where each day I post new information about nutrition, exercise, and general health. I have an email portal on my Applied Metabolics webpage where current subscribers only could send me short questions about anything they might have read in Applied Metabolics or anything that comes to mind pertaining to nutrition and exercise, and I will be happy to answer those questions in appreciation of their subscriptions. Obviously, this doesn't apply to people that don't have subscriptions. I don't answer unsolicited questions. I'm sorry, I don't have the time for that. And frankly, I mean, I think that the knowledge I've accumulated over 60 years is worth more than to just give it away. I do plenty of what they call pro bono work on Facebook and various social media. I do answer questions for free. I give away a lot of free stuff, but there has to be a limit, to that. So I can't answer dozens of unsolicited questions. I can't. I do offer consults, private consults, which I charge for. If somebody wants to a direct question answer type of thing, or wants further information, but that's the way it works. So subscribe today, www.appliedmetabolics.com. Also, if you think my videos are of any value, please subscribe to this channel. It's completely free. I don't charge. As I say, I don't charge. It's completely free. You have nothing to lose except a lot to gain by learning with no BS information. No fancy graphics, just solid information in these videos. So take care. What else can I add? Go to your local shelter, adopt a dog. And I want to add something else to my usual. I say this at the end of all of my videos. Those of you who are regular subscribers know this. But I'm going to add something else. If you ever see any animal, dog, cat, walrus, shark, elephant, any animal being abused, please report them to the local animal abuse authorities and report them immediately. If you have a cell phone with you, a camera, take a video of a person doing that. Turn these scumbags in, because that's what they are. Anyone who abuses an animal, to me, is a low-class scumbag. They need to be turned in. There's no reason to do something like that. So, as you can tell, I love animals. Take care.